Boom! Science with Robertson, he is back and he is in action today, and this topic is going to be about solutions. And no, I'm not going to do any maths with you. In maths, you have this word solution, and it means you have the answer, the solution to all of life's problems. But this is science class. And in science, a solution is something to do with liquids. So let's learn about what that actually is. You know what? Let's do so with an example, okay? What I have over here, I can get myself, not so amazing, but I can get myself a little bit of H2O. Now, it's not perfect, but let's say this is perfect, pure, 100% water. I can change that. Because remember, most of what we have around Earth is not 100% water. Most of it has a little bit of this salt. Here's my water. Here goes a little bit of salt. If I do a little bit of a mix now, you'll be quite surprised. Can't see the salt. And that, people, that is the solution. Salt water is one example of something called a solution. And what's funny, in English and Swedish, with maths and science, we have the word solution. Och vi också använder ordet lösning. Intressant, eller hur? Solution. So, let's go through what a solution actually is. To do that, I need some more words. And those other words, I've got solution, I've got solvent, I've got solute. Now, in this example here, with my solution, which was salt water, I have a solvent, and the solvent is the liquid part. In this case, that's the water. The solute is therefore the solid part. In this case, it is the salt. So much, so easy. The solute, once again, is the solid part. The solvent will be the liquid. And the solution is the combined liquid. Those two things together. What's really cool is if I can do that in Swedish. Because these words here, I think are really hard words. I think they're easier in Swedish. Solution is lösning. Great. We know that one. Solvent has the same start. Lösningsmedel. Aha! That makes so much sense, because if it's going to be a lösningsmedel, it's the thing that helps it lösning. It helps the lösning happen. And more solvent, if I put in more water here, I can dissolve more salt. That's really good. So the water is directly linked together. The solute, even more easy. That is the Lurst Emner. Oh yeah, it's the thing that has to dissolve. The salt is the solid that has to dissolve. Swedish can be really clever sometimes. And that word, I've already used this word. And there's another word to think about. And that word in English is dissolve. Dissolve is the idea that you mix so you can't see. Right here, right now, I have my salt dissolved. I can't see my salt. It has dissolved. Or, I would say, they are löst. They are löst upp sig. The bits of salt are going around all of this water in pieces that are so small we can't see them. It's amazing. That is what I see right here. That is what is going on. Now, it works because there's little spaces in between the water. Remember, water is a liquid. So the water is a bit like this, the H2O particles. So what there is, if I do it in the red so you can see better, there's like little spaces. Like so. And those little spaces are where the salt space can get into. Let's put some more salt in. Give it a good mix. I should use not my hand. We do have mixing rods. Now, I can see the salt, can't you? The salt has no longer dissolved. Of course not. If I put in too much salt, where else can it go? There is no more space. So it cannot go anymore. What I've done is this here then becomes saturated. I can do no more dissolving. There is no more space for it. Has a Swedish word too. We can say something is mättad. We use the same if we talk about fat. Fat, you'll learn about when you go to högstadiet, can also be saturated or not saturated. It's about if every space is taken. If there's no more space in there to take anything, it is saturated. If there is space, we would say it is unsaturated. If there is more space. Eller omättad. And this here, this whole concept is really, really important, and we use it all the time in our bodies. Blood and lösning. Urine. When you go to the toilet, what comes out is a lösning. If you couldn't get that chemicals out of your body that your body doesn't need, you'd have a problem. So we vill kroppen löser upp hela tiden. It's really, really important. And we can control this too. One great thing that we can do, if I have this here, I can make it hotter. If it's hotter, they need more space. So these here would spread out a bit more. There'd be more space, so I can get more dissolving. Det är direkt kopplat till temperatur. Om det är varmare, jag kan lösa upp mer grejer. We will do some experiments about this, hopefully in class. Lots of good words to learn. Hopefully we'll find out more. Thank you very much.